Hi. So you're probably thinking, what the hell? I'm gonna I'm gonna be doing the horror movie tag, and I thought horror movie Halloween. I thought I'd just dress up for the occasion. It actually started because I did my hair, and it just kind of reminded me of like mouse ears. So I just got a bit carried away and did a nose and whiskers, and. And I don't know what's going on with my lighting because my hair looks orange, but it's not. It's red. There's something wrong with my lighting. But anyway, do you like the get up? Do you think it's cute? Emmy doesn't like my hair. She said to me, "Mummy, I hate your hair. Try again." But I don't know. Do you think I could get away with wearing it like this for work? It looks a bit quirky. I don't know. I think it's quite cute. But anyway, I'm doing the horror movie tag, part 2. This was created by the gorgeous. Now I can actually show you because where I've took a screenshot, it's got her. I don't know if you can even. No, you can't see it. The gorgeous Lisa, aka Space's #1 girl. She created a horror movie tag last year during her 13 Days of Horror, which is from the 18th running up to Halloween, and then or the 19th running up to Halloween. And this year she has created part 2. So I did it last year. I think I was in costume last year as well. So I'm gonna do it again. So here we go. Number 1, which horror film creeped you out the most? I don't get creeped out by horror films. I'm sorry. I will watch some horrors, but they don't scare me. It takes a lot for a horror film to make me jump and to scare me and stuff. I'm like, you can make me jump so easily in real life, but horror movies, they just don't scare me at all. Probably, I remember when, like a couple of years ago, when I used to watch House of Wax. And there's a bit in House of Wax where one of the characters gets the top of her finger cut off with like wire cutters or something, and that kind of went through me a little bit. It didn't creep me out, but I'm one of these people, I can watch things like Saw and Scream and stuff and watch people get stabbed and have bits cut off them and heads chopped off and stuff. But if I see like actual things that could happen, like people getting a paper cut or something, that goes through me. So I haven't really got a movie that creeped me out the most, but they are the situations that do. Name one of your favourite horror moments. I love it in Scream 1 where Sydney's best friend at the time, Tatum, she tries to go through the cat flap in the garage door and gets stuck, and then the garage door goes up and she gets squished. It's quite funny. I like that one. I don't know. Name some of your favourite horror moments. I also, it's really sadistic, but I like the bit in the very first Nightmare on Elm Street where she gets dragged through the corridor in a body bag. That's quite weird. And then she kind of stands there in the body bag beckoning her best friend on. That's a bit weird. Number 3, quote a few of your favourite horror movie quotes. Well, one of the ones of our generation has got to be, what's your favourite scary movie? There's that one. I don't really have any favourites. Can you take me seriously at all with this look? I don't really know. I like the song from Nightmare on Elm Street. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Oh, and then of course in Saw there's hello, whoever. We're going to play a game. That's quite sinister. Number 4, if for one night only you could be a horror movie villain, who would you like to be? I'd love to be Freddy. Even though he was like a paedophile and stuff, which I don't really want to be. I love Freddy Krueger with the fingers and stuff. Or I don't know. It'd be quite cool to be a murderer in Scream, because especially towards the end it appeared that pretty much anybody could be a murderer in Scream. What's next? Number 5, which horror villain do you think is the worst, and which horror movies just didn't cut it? Do you mean worst as in who is the most evil, or worst as in just who's a crap one? There's a horror movie that I watched a couple of years ago. My then best friend made me watch it, and it was awful. It was so bad. and it was like, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was Australian. And it was about this guy who lived at home with his mum. Lisa will probably be able to tell you what it is. He lived at home with his mum. He was a real mummy's boy. And then he met this girl who worked in the corner shop and fell in love with her. And the mum didn't like it. So he killed his mum. But then she kind of, I think it's called Brain Dead. She kind of like came back. But it was so awful. It was absolutely awful. And this mother was then killing all the local people and turning them into the same sort of creature that she was. So there was that one. There's another one called The Leprechaun, which Mark made me watch a bit of once, and I was just like, what the hell are you making me watch? So there's that one. As for actual horror villains, well, I think probably the worst horror villain is Jigsaw, because he doesn't actually kill anybody. He sets them up in traps, but they do have ways of getting out if they do what he tells them. So technically he's like the worst horror villain because he doesn't actually kill anybody. So it's a bit weird. Number 6, slow walking, stalking horror villains or high speed chasing villains. Discuss. I think there's more drama with a slow walking, stalking horror villain, because the girl always falls over. I don't know if you've noticed, but the girl who's being chased always has a way of falling over or showing her boobs somehow, and then they can be running so fast, and then the guy's just kind of like stalking behind them, and then they'll lock themselves in a room and think they're safe, and then he'll pop up out of another door. So I do think that's more dramatic. The chasing ones, at the end of the day, I don't want to sound sexist, but a majority of men can normally run faster than women, like average. I'm not talking about like runners or anything, but average people, excuse me, men can run that a little bit faster than women, just because they've got longer legs, so they can take bigger strides. It's not about speed. So the high speed chase ones, they always seem to just get the victim, you know. Number 7, what's your favourite genre within a genre, i.e. zombie, vampire, monster, teen, etc. Teen. I love zombie films. Zombies are my favourite genre. I love zombie films. I know it's a comedy, sort of a comedy horror, but I love Shaun of the Dead. That kind of started it off for me. And then there's Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead, 21 Days Later, 28 Days Later, which is kind of zombies. It's like a disease, isn't it? I need to watch them again. And then you've got Zombie Land, which again is a bit of a comedy, especially because it's got Bill Murray in it. But I love zombie films. I do quite like vampire, but I don't class vampire as a horror. It's like Interview with a Vampire. I wouldn't call that a horror. I think that is such a beautiful film. It's a bit obviously gory in places, but no, definitely zombie. Right, number 8. Scary house, spooky cemetery, or demented fairground. What's your favourite horror movie location? Well, there is that scene, I think it's in Land of the Dead. I get all my, because some of them have got such similar names, I get really confused. I think it's Land of the Dead. They end up at a theme park, don't they? Because the lights kind of bring them there. But spooky cemetery, that always seems really cliche to me, like the ghosts start coming out of the graves and stuff. I don't know. I think if they did the cemetery kind of more natural, I think it would be better. Like, a cemetery can be quite a scary place if you're on your own in the dark anyway. You don't need the added extra stuff. But when I think of cemetery, I just straight away go to Hocus Pocus, which isn't a horror at all. It's just an amazing film. Bette Midler is, I love Bette Midler. Scary house, again, I find that really like cliche. Scary house is just typical. I don't really have a favourite horror movie location, to be honest. It's quite scary if you're stuck in a car because you haven't got very many places to go. Number 9, do you read horror books? And if so, who do you love to read? I don't read horror books. I read one when I was younger. It was like a kid's horror book. It was 3 books in one. but I don't read horror books. It's not my sort of thing. I only tend to read autobiographies. I think I've told you this before. No, I don't read them. So, but I do enjoy. I know it's not the same, but I do enjoy Stephen King films. Rather, I haven't read his books, but I don't know. Um, Something about adult books just doesn't appeal to me. Does that make sense? I prefer kids' books and teenage books, but yeah, I don't know. I don't read them, but I do like Stephen King's concept with some things. Like I love Carrie, I love It. So number 10. Which horror films did you love till you got to the end and then felt let down? Scream. Scream 1 was really good. The bad guys kind of worked. The second one of the bad guys worked. The other one was kind of just like dragged in from nowhere. The third one was completely random. The fourth one I still haven't watched. Is it Scream 4 or Scream 5? I don't know. One of them I still haven't watched. I'm trying to work it out. So the first one was when they were at school. The second one she was at college. The third one she had a job, I think. I don't know. There's been so many. But yeah, probably the Scream genre as it went on. I think in some horror films the bad guy tends to die a bit too easily, or it all kind of rounds itself up too easily. But no, I'd probably say Scream. Number 11. What was the first horror movie you ever saw and how old were you? It would have been It when I was 6. So bad. I didn't really used to understand it that much, especially at the age of 6, and because it was Stephen King, but all I knew is that it was about a clown who killed kids. And I watched it a few years ago. I need to watch it again. And of course, now that I'm older, I know that the clown is played by Tim Curry, so straight away it's just like, it's Tim Curry. But yeah, It is definitely the first horror film I saw. And probably Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, because me and my next door neighbour at the time used to watch them, and she was a couple of years older than me. So number 12. What horror movie are you in the mood for right now? Well, today I've watched Carrie and Carrie 2, and I cannot wait for the new Carrie to come out. I want me and my mum to go and see that, because me and mum used to watch Carrie when I was younger, so I'd like to go and see that with her. I think that's it, because like I want to watch it. I kind of want to watch some zombie films now. I don't know, but yeah, I watched Carrie today. And the last question, name your 13 favourite horror movies. Oh God, Lisa, come on. 13 favourite horror movies. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street 1. Scream 1. Saw 1, Saw 2. I really liked Saw 2. Final Destination 3 with the roller coaster. I like that one. I love the tan in bed scene. That's really funny. Chucky. It's not the Bride of Chucky. It's the one where Chucky has a kid. It's so stupid, but I love that one, and I love Jennifer Tilly. God, you're really making me think. Halloween H2O, because I've watched that a lot. It's not the greatest, but I've watched it. I don't know. This is so hard. This is really hard. Trying to think of all the horror movies you've ever watched. Freddy vs. Jason, because it was so bad that it was good. And it was awesome to kind of see Jason and Freddy in the same film. So that's 8. I need 5 more. Oh my God, this is really hard. House of Wax. I do like House of Wax. Again, it's another one that's a bit crap. I'm not that great on the older horror movies. I'm better at the newer ones, because they're the ones that I tend to see. 4 more. I don't know. This is so hard. I'm not that much of a horror movie buff, if I'm honest. Although that's more of a thriller. Mystery. Mystery's more of a thriller. 3 more. I don't know. I need 3 more. 3 more. 3 more. Think, Haley. Think. 3 more. You know when you have to think of stuff and you just can't? It just sucks. I can't think of 3 more horror films. It? How can I forget It? Carrie? 1 more. I don't know. Screw it, it's not a horror, but I'm going to say Shaun of the Dead because it has zombies in it. Woohoo! So that is the horror movie tag. That's really hard. You see, for Lisa, that'll be so, not necessarily easy, but she'll have so much better answers because she's such a horror movie fan and buff, and this is why her 13 Days of Horror are always so good. Whereas I'm not that bothered about horror movies. Oh my god, Christine! I forgot Christine with the car. Okay, swap out Final Destination and put in Christine. Yay! So yeah, that's the horror movie tag. I know I promised the makeup tutorial today, but it just hasn't happened. So I will do it, obviously, at some point. I mean, what's today? It's the 20th today, so I've got 11 days until Halloween. So yeah, I will get it done, I promise. Yeah, let me know what you think of the hair. I don't honestly think I could go out in public with this hair. And I promise you I haven't re-dyed it orange. It's red. It's just my lighting is really messed up. So, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed today's vlog. Oh, it's Sunday. If you were wondering, it's Sunday the 20th and it's like 10 to 8. So I've got to get this done and uploaded. Oh well. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. See you later, guys. Bye.